Hey guys, welcome back to our weekly live event. This week, we're going to be breaking the numbers on the new purchase, my new 8-unit property. We locked it up today. We're finalizing the details, and we should be closing on this property in about 60 days. So I'm super excited because I've been working on this property for quite a while. And so today, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to break down the numbers for you guys to show you how I assess these type of deals and what makes them appealing to me. And I'll show you how a lot of times when I first started, I would go after properties with 8 caps, 10 caps, 12 caps. Now I'm, thanks guys. Now I'm not going after those. Like this property right here is like a 4 cap. And when I'm done with it, I'm going to make it like a 6 cap. But the cap rate doesn't matter to me as much. There's other factors that I'm looking at. So it's great to see everybody again. Thanks for all the positive feedback. I'm all getting a thumbs up, the love, the hearts. Nice to see everybody again. I'm gonna give it a minute before we kind of break down the numbers, and we'll go that way. DJ, I am on YouTube as well. I am live on YouTube right now. So yes, I'm also live on YouTube, guys. Now on IG, you guys see it backwards, but on YouTube, the numbers are the right way. And I'm hoping you guys are liking the lighting because the lights I got on right now are like blinding me, but I wanted to make sure the quality for you guys is good. So, hope you appreciate it. Yo, what's poppin', Chris? So Big Body CZ is actually one of my day one investors. He was the first person I ever invited to an investment. So far, he's actually tripled his money on his deal. So great guy. He's actually worked for me for like 6-7 years now, and I just invited him to one of my deals because he's just a good guy. So I was like, you know what? Let me let you in. You can join me on one of my deals, and it's working out really well. We're hoping to refi that deal probably sometime next month. So we should be in a good position soon. So a lot of exciting stuff coming. As you guys know, I'm thinking the market's going to go down May of 2021. So I'm refinancing all my positions. I'm pulling my cash out, and I'm basically selling my smaller deals. I'm buying this deal just because I feel it's a good value. For example, this property here, I'm going to pick it up for $880,000. There is a 3-unit that's been remodeled across the street, like one street over, and it's for sale for $650,000. 3 units. This is 8 units. So based off of that valuation, this finished and remodeled should be close to 1.7 million. Now again, I don't like selling my properties, but that's me. So I'm going to be just remodeling it and keeping it. But good to see you guys. What's up, everybody? What's up, DJ? What's up, Team Ambition? What's up, George? The eggplants. What's up, Chris? Asset management class. That's right. This is asset management class. All right. So what does 4/6 cap mean? So this property is starting at a 4 cap and we're moving it to a 6 cap. Capitalization rate, which basically means what is the return on investment off of the net income based off of the cost of the property. So so the capitalization rate is the net income before the loan divided by your cost. And that's basically if you paid, so think of it like this. If you paid cash for the property, all cash, no loan, what percentage would you make on your money? That is the cap rate. So if you buy a property for 5 cap and you bought it for $1 million, you're going to make $50,000 a year. That is your cap rate. But again, the way I teach is we don't go off of what buying cash, we get loans. And I'll show you at the end how this is a valuable deal. All right, what's up, guys? What's up, Hitch? What's up, DJ? George the eggplants. No cap. High cap. All right, guys. So I'm going to get going. Curly says, please make a book. I'm actually thinking about making a book. I've had a book in my mind for a long time. The book is actually going to be called Quarter Life Crisis. It's going to be about how people, when they hit 25 years old, they basically are freaking out. And they're like, I'm 25. Maybe I finished college. Maybe I didn't. And even though I did finish college, I'm really not anywhere where I thought I would be by the age of 25. So people start freaking out. So it's basically a book about how to set your life on track and set your focus on track and to basically accomplish your goals and to realign what your true goals are and not what everyone thinks your goals should be, right? Like, because everyone has an idea of what they should be and where they should be in their life. And in reality, even if they accomplish that, they're probably still going to feel like they're lacking something. So quarter life crisis would basically focus on those issues and to help people realign their focus in their life to accomplish their goals, but also have interior like self-satisfaction as well. So Pascal, you in the US, right? Because in the Netherlands, like Plex properties are like insanely expensive. Buddy, they're expensive here too, because they're highly valuable and they're highly profitable. So you got to kind of go after it. I'm a teenager. Can you explain the basics? I will be explaining the basics tonight, guys. Daniel says, I will buy 5 pre-order. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the, I got some like diehards and I appreciate you guys. Again, on IG, guys, feel free. There's a paper plane on the bottom. Send an invitation to your friends. The more of your friends that know and understand investing, the better your circle is going to be, the stronger it's going to be, right? You don't want to be the only person that's successful and winning. You want to make sure everyone in your team is like-minded and moving in the right direction. Team Ambition says, you have one purchase right here. Cool. Thank you guys. Honestly, with the course I put out, Foundations of Personal Finance, I really did it because you guys asked, really pushed me for it. And other thing is this, the only reason I have this 8-unit under contract, 100%, the reason I have this under contract is just people on my IG keep pushing me to invest with me. They keep pushing me to invest with me and buy properties. And I was like, all right, the only property I'm interested in buying is this one right here. That is the only reason that I even went after this property again. Otherwise, I was cool with just waiting until May of 2021 to buy the next deal. But if I was going to buy a deal now, this would be the deal that I would want to buy just because the location is sick. If anyone knows downtown Dunedin, this is in downtown Dunedin. And it's in the green zone, which is in the commercial zone where you can do whatever you want. Airbnb, you can bulldoze a property and put in a bar. Like you have a lot of flexibility with this property. So let's see here. Is it better to put down 20% or 10% and have 2 triplexes? It depends. It depends where the location and the return on investment. It depends on the growth of the area. Normally, I like as many doors as possible for the money, but it all depends. Australia is expensive and the returns are low, but it gives a tax break. Is it worth it? Tax breaks are good, and it really depends on your situation. Sometimes I tell people to invest outside of their area. So guys, I'm going to answer more questions after I go through this breakdown because a lot of people have been asking for this breakdown, and I want to give the people what they want. Mr. Martinez, I will answer your question shortly. Let me just go through these numbers. All right. So now with this property, the rent currently is $82,000. There's 6 1-bedrooms, a 2-bedroom house, and a 3-bedroom house. The 1-bedrooms are renting for $575, $600, $675. The 1-bedrooms that I own down the street, I'm renting for $1,075. So I have $500 move on these 1-bedrooms. The 2-bedrooms I can go up, the 3-bedrooms I can go up. I'm buying this property for $880. Next door, a house sold, a 2-bedroom house sold for $220,000, not remodeled, and then they spent at least another $50,000 to remodel that house. I'm not getting 1 unit, I'm getting 8 units for $880. So I'm getting about $110,000 a door, where again, across the street, they sold a house that needed a lot of work for $220 for one door. So I'm basically getting at half price. Yes, the numbers are low, but you're going to see that the growth potential for this property is very aggressive, and I'm willing to take less money up front for have aggressive growth. Because as you guys know, the money you make, the big money, is in appreciation. It's not in the rent, right? When I started this, if I made $100 a door in rent per month, I was happy. If I made $1,200 a year, I was happy. Now, as you're going to see here, the appreciation is going to be very aggressive. Now, expenses are $43,000. Net income before the loan is $39,000. Cap rate's 4.4. Again, cap rate is the amount of rent you bring in after your expenses before your loan divided by the purchase amount, which gives you a 4.4 cap. Okay? Now, net income after the loan is negative $4,000. If I leave it as is and buying it for this price, I'm going to lose $4,000 a year. Obviously, I'm not going to keep it as is, because part of the loan I'm going to be getting $188,000 for my remodel budget. I'm going to spend $188,000 on these 8 units. Okay, I don't think I'll need this much money, but I'm going to overestimate. The income when I'm finished will at least be $119,000. My non-remodeled 1-bedrooms are getting $1,075. These are going to be fully remodeled 1-bedrooms. I should be able to get more than $1,075. I'm estimating $1,495 for a 2-bedroom house. I'm estimating $1,995 for a 3-bedroom house. I have a 3-bedroom house down the street currently that's getting $2,200. So again, this rent income is conservative. I mean, it could easily go up another $10,000 a year. Expenses will be about $50,000. The net income before loan is $69,000. $69,000 based off of the purchase plus remodel is around 6.4 cap. When I refinance, I should refinance at 3.5%, 30-year loan, very conservative numbers, right? Very conservative loan. Based off of that new mortgage amount, I'll make $14,000. Now, we're only going to be in initially we're going to be in probably for around like $300,000 for this property. After the refinance, we'll only have about $70,000 into this property. Based off of the $70,000, we're going to have a 20% return cash on cash. How much money are we making on the cash that's remaining in the property? Because again, after the refinance, I'm going to get my money back. So what's remaining? 20% return on the cash. So you're saying, Pascal, why would you waste your time with $14,000 a year? I mean, that's really not a lot of money for me. I mean, I make that in a week, 2 weeks. So why would I want that in a year? The point is not me wanting this number, $14,000 a year. The point is I'm going to have a loan for $1 million on this property, but the property is going to be worth $1.7 million. I'm going to have $700,000 in equity in this property. That is the point. Now, if I wanted to sell both houses, I could probably sell the houses for $300,000 and $350,000. So I would sell them, make about $650,000, pay down the $1 million, only be left with a $350,000 loan, and I'll have 6 units fully remodeled with only a loan of $350,000. And I'll be able to increase my net income because I have a smaller loan, less expenses. Part 2, this doesn't even account that we're in an Airbnb zone where most of the properties around us are not allowed to do Airbnb. So I'm currently would bring in $1,075, conservative number, for rent for a 1-bedroom. But if I make them an Airbnb, I could pull $3,000 a month. So obviously, the net income has significant room to grow. And as an Airbnb complex, the value will probably be worth more than $1.7 million. So as you can see, based off of these numbers, this is a really good property in a very desirable area. That properties like these are very rare. And there's a few other ones that are like this in the area, and I already own them. So if anybody wants to get anything like this, they'll have to come to me. And I'm also in the works to acquire everybody else that is similar to this style. So I will be probably the only person that owns all these types of properties, multi-units in green zones in the downtown core. So I will be the only person that, if you basically go to Airbnb for this city, I'll probably be the only person, like every unit will be the one I own, be ones that I own. So I will have a monopoly, I guess, on that city. So I think that's really cool because I grew up working at the bank in this city. So for me, it's like really cool to be able to say that. And so I started buying in this city. It's a very, very like desirable city to own in today. And when I tell people I own a lot of units in the city, they're like, their jaws drop because they're like, how do you afford to buy something? And how do you even find anything to buy? Well, I'm like, well, when I was 20 years old, I bought those properties. And they're like, how did you get it when you were 20? I said, well, when I was 20, I knew that this city was awesome and everyone's going to realize it's awesome one day. I mean, all of my property is 1 block or 2 blocks from the water, and it's awesome, like really fun to hang out down there. And I think eventually people are going to realize that. So I used to be able to pick up, I was getting units under 50,000 a unit. Today, they go for like 200, 250,000 for the unit. So the properties I bought when I was like 19, 20 have now 5 times in value. And obviously I didn't put down 100% of the money. I only put down 10%. So my $30,000 has turned into like $1 million in profit. So as you can see, the money is not in the rent. The money is in the asset appreciation. And as you guys know, I said the government's going to print $10 trillion. And that money has to go somewhere. And where's the value going to go? Because if you print dollars, assets have to go up in turn. So where is it going to go? It's going to go into gold, stocks, real estate. So gold, stocks, and real estate. And why I like real estate is because you can get leverage on your money. So if you put down $1, you get $5 to play with. So now if everything's going to inflate, $100,000 property is going to be worth $300,000. $1 million property is going to be worth $3 million. So if you put down 200 grand, you'll make $2 million on that money. You're going to 10 times your money. And that's ignoring if you're buying a good deal. That's just if you're buying a standard deal that brings in cash flow. But the big asterisk you got to have next to all of the stuff I'm telling you is you must buy properties that have cash flow, because the value of these properties are based off of the residual income that's coming in. So if you buy a condo, it's not going to be worth that much. If you buy a single family home, it's not going to be worth that much. If you buy a duplex, triplex, and quadplex, it's going to be good. If you start buying 10 units, 20 units, 100 units, 300, 500, you're going to do amazing. So now it's time for the Q&A. Feel free to ask any questions you can, because the harder the question, the more detailed the question, the more everyone's going to learn. So please bring the hard questions, guys, and I'm happy to answer. So Jorge Martinez says, why 2021? May of 2021. So we have this thing called forbearance. Forbearance basically means people do not have to pay their mortgage for the next 12 months. It's not forgiven. In 12 months, they have to come up with all 12 payments. That end of the 12-month period is going to be May 2021. Most of the people started in March and April. So the end period is going to be May of next year. So they're going to have to come up with 12 months of rent. Well, if you couldn't come up with 1 month, how are you going to come up with 12? Part 2. Well, Pascal, they can go into a loan modification. That is true. If they have a job that brings in enough money to cover that mortgage payment. But if they don't, then they're going to get foreclosed on. If they don't have a job, they're going to get foreclosed on. If they don't make enough money, they're going to get foreclosed on. We are now at a 21-year high on people behind on their mortgage more than 31 days. 21-year high. But the market is not accepting the data. That's why in probably 2 months, you're going to start seeing people accepting it more. In 6 months, 9 months, 1 year. So slowly you're going to see more and more properties for sale and people getting more aggressive with selling their properties. and then you're going to start seeing foreclosures of May 2021. If you go into certain markets, like say St. Petersburg, Florida, it was extremely expensive to buy anything in downtown St. Pete. But now you're seeing more and more properties for sale. They used to go for $300 to $400 a square foot. Plus, now there's properties down there selling for $200 a square foot. That's a 30% and 50% reduction. And it's just starting. You can find properties on the beach for deep discounts. And then, and at this point, even though they're at deep discounts, they're still not cheap enough. They're going to get even cheaper. So I'm not trying to be a doom and gloom guy. What I'm trying to say is great opportunities are coming. So get ready. All right. Teen Ambition says, what commercial loan will you be putting in place for this 8 unit? So initially, I'm going to be getting an interest-only loan for 1 year that's amortized over 25 years at 4.99%. After that, I'm going to be refinancing into a 30-year loan at 3.5% interest. All right. Ahmed said, hello, everybody. What's up, Ahmed? All right. Teen Ambition, Teen says, would you be willing to drop the address of the property? I'll drop the address of the property once I got the final contract. Next question says, can you please recommend any good real estate books based in Florida law? Well, no book is really going to state Florida law unless you actually read like a law book, a law textbook. So there isn't a real estate specific book like that. They're all basic items because remember, the second they write this book, it's probably obsolete, so it's really important to team up with a good real estate lawyer. I have a really great one in the Tampa Bay market that I work with. Really awesome. I mean, I can get eviction done for like $150 plus court costs. But if the lawyer's only charging me $150, that's cheap. I mean, you're in LA, you're paying like $10,000, So I'm very fortunate. So, all right, let's go to the questions. A791R says, what do you recommend when buying my first property in Bakersfield and not living there? Should I shoot for a duplex or a triplex? I would say I would go for a triplex because the more doors you get, usually the more conservative it is. Now, you have to understand your market though, because the areas I buy in downtown cores. So a 1-bedroom in a downtown core is very valuable. If I go for a 2-bedroom in a downtown core, the rent doesn't go up that much money. It's not like it's $1,000 for a 1-bedroom and $1,500 for a 2-bedroom. No, it's like $1,000 for a 1-bedroom and it's like $1,150 for a 2-bedroom. So normally it doesn't add much value to have a 2-bedroom. So you need to know your market to understand what is value. So if you have a two unit that's 3-bed, 2-bath, it could be more valuable than a 3-unit that's 1-bed, 1-bath each. It really depends. So the details aren't that specific. I can't get that specific because the details are important. Where can I find foreclosed properties? Most foreclosed properties are going to go on the MLS. They're going to be on Zillow. They're going to be everywhere. So make sure you're teaming up with a real estate agent that specializes in foreclosures because they're going to be able to tell you when the deals are coming. And they're going to be able to send you a link. So every time they come up, every day, they're going to pop up in your email. You're going to see, and you're going to be able to give them a call. Say, hey, I'm interested. I want this property. I can't thank you enough for everything you show us. You're welcome, Bash. Eric says, what would be a good job to get at the age of 18? I mean, it depends what you like. You can work at the bank. You're not going to make much money. You can work as a mortgage broker or work as an assistant for a mortgage broker. If you like construction, working with your hands, you can do something in the construction field. If you like numbers, you can work with loans. If you like sales, you can work as a realtor. If you like sales and numbers, you can be a mortgage broker. If you like something that's more not salesy, but more helping people, you can work with insurance or with like taxes, bookkeeping. There's a lot of different things you can do in the real estate field. So it doesn't have to be specifically one thing or another. I mean, I know a lot of successful people who are agents. Some people are mortgage brokers. Some are construction. some are property managers. It's just, what is your thing? At the end of the day, find what you like and how you want to help people. Because if you're enjoying what you're doing while you're helping people, it's going to feel very rewarding and it's going to be very easy to be successful. Sassy to Sexy says, why don't like that? Don't makes? I don't understand. As a teenager, where would you refer me to go to get knowledge and understanding for real estate? Honestly, if you just watch and read and study all the stuff I put out on IG and all the stuff I put on YouTube, I'm telling you, you got like hours and hours of information on there. You're going to learn a crazy amount. Like, it took me a very long time to gather this information, and I had to go. It's not like back in the day, 15 years ago, you didn't have YouTube. You didn't have this. You actually had to go out, meet with these people, and get them to give you this information. Like, it took a lot. So right now, it's very easy for you to watch my videos and literally, if I didn't understand something that they were telling me, I would sometimes ask them to repeat themselves because I'd feel shy. And, this way you have it on video. You could just literally replay the video and watch it again and again and be like, I don't understand what he means. Just keep looping that video to replay it and to get the numbers and calculate the numbers. And then again, on my IG and on my YouTube, you can put in the comment section, be like, how did you calculate that? And I'll be able to plug in the calculation, how I got to those numbers. What's important is never assume anyone's right or wrong online, but ask them, how do they get to their numbers? Ask them, how did they get to their logic? Because one of the big benefits that I had is I asked them, why did they act the way they did? Why did they make those decisions? It's not the decision. It's the why behind the decision. Because for you to replay my exact scenario here is extremely unlikely. But what will happen is the logic behind this scenario. The logic behind this, I kept explaining, is that money is not made in the rent. Money is made in the appreciation of the asset. So yes, I took a long time where I didn't make money when I was younger. Comfortable. That was because of the smart moves I made. So if you can understand the logic behind the smart moves, you can also do the same thing. Johnny says, people just going to live for free 1 year and give up the house. So so to answer your question, they're not living for free. They have a mortgage on the property and they're not paying that mortgage payment. So that interest they owe is calculating and adding up. At the end of the year, they owe it. What happens is if they don't pay it, they get foreclosed on. Their credit gets ruined. They get kicked out. So if you feel like it's free, it's not free. If you're going to ruin your credit, it's not free. When you're going to college and you're accumulating all that student debt, that money's not free. You owe it. You have to pay it back. Now, credit card debt, the car, just because you can get the loan for a car doesn't make it free or cheap or easy. You have to figure out that calculation to see if it makes sense. Now, what I do call free money is real estate deals. Why I call that money free is because I'm not making that mortgage payment. The tenant is making that mortgage payment. So if I could get $1 billion loan and have the tenant make the payment, the tenant's paying the mortgage, and eventually the asset goes up and I keep the profit in the spread. I call that free money. But if you go and get a mansion and you have a huge mortgage and you're paying that out of your paycheck, that's not free money. That's an expense. That's a liability. That's why your home is a liability and investment property are assets. So there's a difference. There is a way you can hack your home so you could live in it as if it's not a liability. But that's a whole nother live event. Will rental property prices go down due to COVID? Yes, all assets will go down. I mean, rental property is going to go down. Stocks are going to go down. We're going to have a double dip in the market. We're going to see the stock market's doing crazy good now, right? Yeah, it's going to be short-lived. It's going to tank. All right. Raphael says, Pascal, love your content. I know you're big an advocate for studying your market. My question is, what tools do you use to study a particular market? What metrics do you look at? So I actually, I got some mentees in my office, and they come in every day, and they were asking me, they're like, what are you looking at? So when I ran the numbers on this, I pulled up Pinellas County Property Appraiser. So the county you're in, pull up their property appraiser. You can pull up data on like what properties were sold for, how much is the taxes. Sometimes you can put in an estimate saying, hey, if I purchase it for this much, how much are the taxes going to become? You can get all that data. In addition to that, you can use say like Zillow or Realtor.com. You're going to have more data there for how much are current rents, right? Rent.com. You can check on how much current rents are for that market, so you know what your pricing should be. So you can find how much property sold for before remodeling, and you can find out how much you sold after a remodel. So that's how you just pull up the data. So Teen Ambition says, I need some advice, Pascal. I live in Los Angeles area, and the market over here is expensive. Home valuations are 400 plus for a decent looking home. I'm looking to put 3.5% down FHA on a fourplex. Would you recommend moving out of state to make it easier on myself for the down payment and other expenses, or stay here? This is where my vision gets very blurry. That's really about what you want. You could make it there. You can make it outside of there. I will tell you this. 350,000 tenants are not paying their rent in California. 350,000 are not going to be paying the rent for the next 12 months. Lots of landlords are going to get foreclosed on. Lots of properties are going to be for sale. The prices that they're at, they're not going to be there. They're going to be a lot lower. So I was going to tell you that the prices that they are today are not going to be that high later. You have to kind of consider what your income is to say if it's worth staying there. But at the same time, it depends. There's a thing in real estate that says this. You can live where you want to live and invest where the money says you should invest. So just because you live in LA doesn't mean you should move. But just because you live in LA doesn't mean you should invest there. So just follow the money. Put your money where it's going to make you the best return. All right. Let's see what we got here. Why are banks taking longer now to pre-approve loans? One, a lot of the people in the loan departments are working on the SBA loans. Two, they're being very conservative on loans right now. So they're being very careful on who they're lending to. Saving or investing for now? Depends what you want to invest in. I mean, you should be very careful what you're going to put your money, where you're going to put your money. Just make sure wherever you're putting it now, it's very safe. There's risk factors, right? When the market is in your favor, you can be very risky because the market's in your favor. It's going to push you to be successful. If the market is not in your favor, like right now, I don't think the market's in our favor. We have more down force pulling than pushing up. So it's going to come down, and it's getting higher the stock market gets, the more down force it's pulling it down. The higher it gets, the harder it's going to fall down. I know that sounds weird. It sounds different, but I'm telling you, the higher it gets, the harder it's going to fall. So currently, because it's not in our favor, you should not be risky. You should be conservative. So this deal here, like I told you, there's a 6 unit down the street selling for $650,000. I'm buying 8 units for $880,000. The house across the street in horrible condition, so for $220,000. I'm getting 8 units for $880,000. I'm basically paying for 4 units, but I'm getting 8. The numbers are very low, but I believe they're going to go up over time aggressively. Lucy, what's up, Lucy? Nice to see you too. Lucy's been following me for a long time. She probably has the YouTube and IG on at the same time. She's probably right now. I can see her at her house. Boom, love it, Pascal. Awesome, Billy. What do you think of the stores coming out about Biden tax plans, and how do you think it will impact real estate investors? I don't think Biden's going to get elected, frankly. Like, one, I think a lot of people just seem like he's not there. Two, if he does get elected, and if we're in a bad economy and everything's rough, imagine on top of that getting huge tax bills. It's gonna people don't have money already. Like, how are they gonna pay these huge tax bills? Like, the economy's gonna get even worse. It's gonna get even worse. So, I don't think he's gonna get elected. I really don't. I think it's extremely unlikely. And the data shows that anytime a current president, when he goes for re-election, if he does not get reelected, there is a huge recession the following year. What I want to say is this: doesn't matter who gets elected, we're going to have a recession next year. It's not a question if we're going to have a recession. It's a question: are we going to have a recession or a depression? That is the options. It's going to be bad. The question is, how bad will it be? And are you prepared to take advantage? Because for every good, there's a bad. For every bad, there's a good. So the opportunity is this: if everything's cheap, if we buy it now, we can ride it up. Now, not meaning today. Now meaning next year. If you get a great deal like this, then yeah, go for it today. Lucy said, I do. Yeah, she has both of them up. I know. Because when people say certain things, I'm like, wow, I can tell they're watching both of the comments from both sides. A lot of good ways to learn is by hearing other people's comments and understanding my response. And if you don't understand why I respond a certain way, please ask why. Investing out of state of residence. Yes, you can invest out of the state that you live in. It is very common. A lot of people will do what they'll do is they'll invest as a real estate investment group. So it'll be like someone like me, and I'll have a couple other people that invest with me, and then we'll buy properties together. There's actually a 32 unit in Clearwater right now for sale. It's a great deal. That property is more of a cash flow property. That one, you don't do anything to it, you're going to make 16% cash on cash return on that one. That one's a really good deal. But asset appreciation value, it's not a lot compared to this. This is a lot. That one is not a lot. So unless a whole bunch of people say, hey, Pascal, I want to invest money. That one is like 3.4 million. So we would need to raise like about $800,000 to buy that one. So unless a lot of people say, hey, Pascal, I really want to buy a property, I need to spend this money to save money on taxes, then I'll go buy it. Otherwise, I'm not in a rush. I'm willing to wait till next year. Edward says, your opinion on Tesla stock. I sold for profits because I felt it's too good to be true right now. Elon Musk said it was too high at $880 a share. At $880 a share, Elon Musk said it's too high. I think Tesla right now is at like 1,500. It was at 880 like a month ago. So it doesn't make sense why it's this high. I'll be honest with you guys. It just doesn't make sense. There's not like no rational explanation for it. Do I think it's going to go down? Yeah. Do I think Amazon's going to go down? Yes. I love Tesla. I love Amazon. I love Google. I love Apple, right? I'm all for owning those stocks. But right now, the price of these stocks are like unrationally high. Like there's no rationale to say it's that worth that much. Tesla especially, their income did not increase. The price of a stock is based off of the income. The income did not increase. So it's not like they can justify it. So anyway, any thoughts on REITs? Is it a good idea as owning a real estate? It's okay. I mean, being part of a real estate investment group, you're going to make a lot more profits and you can get a lot more specialized on the properties you're owning. So it's a good option, but I don't think it's the best option. How do one get into investing with you? Do you have an investor club? I don't have an investor club. Basically, how it's worked is people have DM'd me, and I've established a relationship with them, and I see like, okay, these people are not crazy. They're nice people, and they're they have good reasoning why they want to invest, and they're not calling to make some ridiculous return or have their money back in like 2 days. Like I've had this one guy's like, I want to invest with you, but I want 30% return. I'm like, one, I don't know you. Two, if someone was going to get a 30% return, it'd be people who are already investing with me. It's not some random dude that's just DMing me. So anyway, if you seem cool, I'll consider investing with you. Otherwise, probably won't. Because to be honest, when you invest with somebody, it's like getting into a marriage with them. And I'm not looking to, get in bed with people that are just really annoying, So, Rudy, I was looking at a property that is $205,000. I checked the tax details on the web and saw the fair market value was at $71K. Am I overpaying if I buy? So tax assessed value and true market value are not always accurate. So you have to look into that. Alan says, what's the minimum amount to start investing with you? With me, it depends on the deal. Like next year, I might take as low as like 25,000, but currently it's going to be probably somewhere close to like $100,000. So if I do probably closer to like $100,000 because, but next year we're going to be a lot more open because there's going to be so many deals next year. We're going to need a lot of investors to get involved because I want to buy everything. Like when everything starts going down 30% lower than what it's worth, like when it's on sale, I want to buy everything possible. So I'm willing to probably take in investors at like 25, but currently I don't want to partner with anybody probably now less than like 100 just because it doesn't make sense. For sale by question is, how did you get so good at what you do? To be honest, I just it's like people that play basketball. They're playing basketball all day, every day, studying other players, studying the way they do things. I'm always studying, like literally always studying. I'm listening to different podcasts. I'm watching different YouTube videos. There's other people online that do business and investing. I follow every single one of them. Now I see other guys that do something similar to me, and they won't follow anybody else just because they don't want to show anyone that they're following anybody, right? I don't care. I don't care that anyone sees I'm following everybody, meaning all business people. And I'm not following like all these girls that are showing their butt online, right? I'm not following those people. I'm only following business people, doers, people that are trying to grow, people trying to expand themselves. So if you're constantly putting that into your mind, you're going to absorb it. And I was not like I failed the fourth grade. I got held back. I was not a smart student. But what I do have is I have persistency, I have consistency, I have determination, and I just don't stop. So slowly I pick things up. Slowly I pick up more and more information. And if you're consistent, you only have to learn one small thing a day. In 3 years, you learned 1,000 things. As long as you truly absorb those small items, 1,000 small items, do a lot. So that's how I learned my stuff. What's your opinion on franchising major food chains? Honestly, like food business is going to be really questionable, like especially now. I would wait until the market tanks because then you're going to be able to pick up really good cheap prices on locations. You might even be able to get a location for free for a full year because they just want someone to fill that spot. I mean, seriously, like you can probably find a location where the place is like half empty, and they might say, you know what, here, take the spot. We'll give you 1 year free rent. Just take over the spot and just be there. Because a plaza that's dead is scary. No one wants to go there. They might just let you in if you have a good chain, if you're part of a good team. So Edward says, your opinion on, I already answered that one. FYI, I'm buying the Tesla truck. The Cybertruck, I already ordered it. I'm like so excited. I really want it. So yeah. All right. I hear many people get unapproved for their loan because of their debt to income ratio. What do you recommend? Just having, uh, what do you recommend? Just having more side hustles? No, because your debt to income ratio, your income has to be over the last 2 years. So for you to have, unless you have a consistent side hustle, that income probably won't even count. Remember, if you had a side hustle where you're Ubering 1 year and then next year you're like, I don't know, cutting grass, they're not going to count that side hustle. It has to be consistent for the last 2 years. So you'd need to Uber for 2 years in a row for that side hustle to count. Because it's consistency of income. There's a big thing that's called ability to repay. They can't predict you're able to continue paying the loan if you keep changing side hustles, right? Now, again, you might say, well, Pascal, that side hustle was working and now it's not working. It's not making money. I have to go something else that makes money. I understand your argument. I'm just explaining to you how the rules work. So usually it's not the side hustle. It's normally you have to reduce your debts. So for example, if you have a car loan and you're paying $800 a month on it and you got 2 years left on that car loan, what you might want to do is refi that car loan for 6 years, then lower that to like say $250 a month or $280 a month. So that opens up that reduces the amount of debt you have. Part two, if you have student loans, you might want to refinance that. Credit card bills, pay your credit card bill before the statement is printed. So if your statement is printed on the 18th, pay your credit card bill on the 17th. Even though the credit card bill says it's due on the 27th, pay it on the 17th. So when the credit card bill is printed, it shows that you don't owe anything. So now your monthly payment is zero. So now you have less debt and more ability to repay. Now, by the time you pay the bill, the statement is printed, you could already have another $5,000 on that card. It doesn't matter. But what matters is the time that they print that statement. What does it say at that moment in time? So you can do all those little tricks to get them down. So I got a course called Foundations of Personal Finance. In that course, it explains how to have credit, how to boost your credit, how to hack your credit, and how to be able to do that to lower your debt to income ratio so you can qualify for a larger loan. And in that example, I give an example of how someone could be only qualifying for a $500,000 loan. By doing the different hacks, they could qualify for $1 million loan by just using all those little credit hacks and by using all those debt to income ratio hacks. And if you're wondering, the link to the course is in my bio on IG. What's up, guys? How did your time in banking help you dive into real estate? So when I was working in the bank, it wasn't working at the bank that automatically taught me everything. What taught me is that I chose to learn lending. So while I was working at the bank, I wanted to learn something else. So I would go in between doing my job, I would ask questions. It's really important to ask questions. And from there, I would go and became a lender. And I was doing the lending. And every time someone would come in with a scenario, I would go call and say, how do I resolve this issue? So with all these different scenarios and all these different problems people come to, that's how I'm able to teach the course, is because I did lending and I saw a bunch of different problems and I found different solutions for their problems. I have a company that we do taxes, bookkeeping, payroll. So that's how I understand all the different ways to play with taxes legally. And then my friend's mom was one of the best credit cleaners in the country, and I learned credit from her. So I was able to learn all these skills, and I took the time, and when they talked, I listened and had follow-up questions for them so I can get different, how does it work in each scenario? Because each scenario tweaks a little bit, and you have to be able to navigate through the system. So what exactly what did I do in banking? I was a personal banker and I did loans, mortgages. I was working for the bank for about 3 years. And then I worked for Citigroup, did anti-money laundering. Then I worked for PricewaterhouseCoopers, did Home Depot's taxes, and I did assurance. And then I worked for an oil company. I was the head accountant, so I did all of their books. And along the way, I opened up my accounting firm, and we do taxes, bookkeeping, and payroll. I opened an insurance agency, so we do home insurance, auto insurance, commercial, general liability, umbrellas, boats, motorcycles. I have a lending company that specializes in commercial loans, and then we're going to be working on getting to 1 to 4 family homes. So when you guys are looking to buy your rental properties, we should be able to help you get those loans. We have a property management company. We have a construction business. We have the real estate investment company. So those are all the companies that I own. And that's how I know all these different details. Commercial or rental real estate? Both. It really is the deal. It's where are you going to make money? I'm looking at a commercial property now that they're asking $3 million, and it used to be worth $6 million, and I'm probably going to buy it when it's probably for like $1 million. So yeah, I'll go commercial if I could buy a $6 million property for $1 million. You know. When do I sleep? Actually, I sleep a decent amount. To be honest, what I've learned as I've gotten older is when I was younger, I would do a lot and just like be so hyper and not get a result for my time. But I learned now is if I just slow down and be focused and absorb what's going on, like really be attentive to what's happening. When I hear the actual question, like I have a new assistant and I'm like, you're not listening. And she's like, no, I'm listening. And I'm like, well, repeat what I just said. And then she kind of gives me the answer. I was like, every single thing I'm saying has deep detail in every aspect of it. You miss one aspect of this, you're wrong. The work you're going to do is going to be incorrect. It doesn't matter that you're half correct. You're still wrong. 50% is still an F. So in the things that we're doing, when we're navigating these items, the details are really important, right? And it's, the people I'm working with now, all the new people, they have a lot of potential, but they need to hone those potential. They need to work on their skills. They need to develop those skills, right? So, but they have to focus, do less, focus, because you'll actually be able to be faster. If you're like being so quick on something and you screw up 3 times and you have to redo it 3 times, you're not quick. You're just redoing the same thing in 15 minutes, or if you went slow and try to do it in 5 minutes, no, do it in 7. Just don't make any screw ups. You're still faster. What is cap rate? Capitalization rate. It's basically if you buy a property, pay all cash for it, what is a percentage return you'd be making? That is what cap rate is. Pascal, you have given me tremendous amount of motivation. Well, I'm glad. I'm here for that. When I used to talk to people that were successful and that knew what they were doing, it pumped me up. It really pumped me up to be like, oh man, they did this. It's possible. I could do this, and going for it. So trust me, you guys, I don't have any type of gift that was given other than being persistent, keep pushing when things are hard, having grit, and having God's favor. Because despite how many bad things happened, I kept moving forward, knowing that God would help me, knowing that I could make it. So keep moving, keep working, and good things will come. Maybe not immediately, but eventually they'll come. So return on investment. It's execute. Is your real estate course a tax write-off if you are rental owner? It is if you're a rental owner or if you're if you're a business owner, it is a tax write-off. If you own rental property or if you have a 1099 income or a business, you can write off the cost of the course as continuing education. You're welcome, guys. All right, guys. Any other questions before I go tonight? I got a couple more minutes, so I want to try to give you guys as much value as possible. Foreign exchange in the next year, I think the dollar is going to get stronger and stronger. So the dollar is going to get stronger, so other currencies are going to get cheaper compared to the dollar. You're welcome, guys. Our hard money deals are a good idea. Hard money loans can be good, but be very careful because I got stuck in a hard money loan right when the market tanked in 2008. So if you get a hard money now, be very careful if you're stuck in it because if it tanks, you're going to be stuck in that loan too. So just be careful. How often do I go live? I go live every Wednesday at 10 p.m. and every Sunday at 10 p.m. Eastern time. Everybody on YouTube, thanks for the thumbs up. Everyone on IG, thanks for all the love, the hearts. I appreciate it, guys. How much money did I start with? I started with $32,000. I saved up about $32,000 when I was 19. Our property is going to go down. They're going to go down. Properties are going to go down, and then they'll go back up later. Everything's going to go down. Why are banks taking long for pre-approval loans? One, they're behind. Two, they're not giving out as much money. They're being very cautious. Can you buy a foreclosed property with an FHA or conventional loan, or is it only cash? Sometimes you can buy a foreclosed property using conventional financing or FHA loan. It depends on the condition of the property in certain factors. Normally, if it's just cash, they'll tell you it's just cash. Now, a lot of times when there's a foreclosed property, they'll actually give opportunities to first-time home buyers first, or owner-occupied properties first, before investors. Normally, they have like a 10-day wait. Can you lay out how to get return on investment? So it depends on return on investment. Are you looking for like cash on cash? Cash on cash is basically the down payment amount that you have. If you're looking at end cash of cash return on investment, the end cash on cash is basically the amount of money you have in the property after you refinance. So in this deal, it's going to be roughly like $1.1 million. But when we're done with the refinance after the property stabilized, I'm only going to have about $70,000 into this property. So $70,000 in this property divided by, you're going to take the income it's for the year, which is $14,000 after all the expenses and the mortgage payments, it's $14,000. Divide that by the $70,000 that's still remaining cash in this deal. It's a 20% cash on cash return. Now again, you can look at cap rate, where cap rate is if you paid all cash for the property divided by the net income divided by the all cash purchase price. That's your cap rate. So basically, that's why you'd want to use loans when you're working with real estate, because you get a better percentage return on your money. Are you investing in Miami right now? No, I'm not. I think that a lot of the Miami investors are going to, I think a lot of the Miami investors, just like in 2008, are going to leave the country. Normally, when the dollar gets super strong, they will sell their properties in Miami and then convert their properties overseas, because the money they're going to get is going to get a better exchange, because the dollar is strong and say their peso is going to be weak compared to the dollar. So when they do that exchange back, they're going to have a lot of pesos left over, and then they're going to be able to buy all the discounted properties in, say, Mexico or any other country, because there's a lot of South American countries that invest in Miami when they have all this extra money. But when the times are tough and they need their money back, they'll sell their investments. They'll get a good return on their exchange rate, and they'll use that money to invest in their country. So I don't think Miami is the best spot to invest in right now. Do you think it is a good advice to start as a middleman with zero money? You can start. I mean, if you find a deal, I'll pay you a premium, or I'll pay you like a commission to find a deal. I mean, it's really about the value you provide. If you're providing a value, then you get a return for it. Edward says, foreclosed homes in the Washington, D.C. suburbs are some of the better deals, but I've heard getting a loan on foreclosed homes isn't as easy. It depends what you're going to do with it. If you're trying to flip it, if you're trying to occupy it, you can get a loan on it if you're trying to occupy it yourself. It really depends, right? It's not hard. It's not easy. It just depends on what you're trying to do and the condition of the property. If it's in a bad shape, yeah, it's going to be hard to get conventional loan. You're going to probably have to get a hard money loan. Depends on the shape of the property. Good idea to buy a fourplex considering property values will go down. It depends the price of the fourplex, where it's located. If you're getting it at a great deal, then no, it's worth getting it now. But if it's not a good deal, if it's just regular market price, then it's probably not the best idea to buy it now. Do you invest in equities? Not really. I do own some gold stock. Other than that, I don't right now. All right, guys. Well, I'm tired. It's late. I really appreciate all the love, all the thumbs up on YouTube, all the hearts. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you for everything. And thanks for all the, I really appreciate when you guys, liking, commenting, sharing on my stuff. That's the way the algorithm shows that you guys like it. It shows it to other people, and it spreads the message of financial education. So God bless you guys, and I hope you guys have a great night. Remember, I'll be live again Sunday at 10 p.m. And for those who are looking to learn more, my course is Foundations of Personal Finance. The link is in my bio in IG. It's also in the description section of my YouTube videos. See you guys later. Hey, Dr. Ali. What's up, man? You guys are smart, dude. I'll see you guys later.